There are moments in the journey that no one prepares you for, not the moments of achievement, but the moments of weight, the moments when progress feels heavy instead of exciting, when growth doesn't feel like expansion, but like pressure building from the inside out. Pain arrives quietly. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't announce its purpose. It simply shows up and demands to be felt. Many people are taught to run from this moment, to distract themselves, to stay busy, to numb the feeling before it can speak. But pain is not a mistake. It is a signal that something real is happening within you. Growth that matters is never painless because it asks you to shed versions of yourself that once kept you safe. And letting go of safety hurts, even when, what replaces it is stronger. This is the part of the journey few people talk about. The nights where doubt is louder than confidence. The moments where you question whether the weight you're carrying is worth it. The tears that come not from weakness, but from holding too much for too long. Crying is not failure, it is release. It is the body letting go of what the mind could no longer contain. When you allow yourself to feel pain fully, without judgment, something remarkable happens. The pain begins to soften, not because it disappears, but because it has been acknowledged. Pain ignored becomes heavier. Pain honored becomes information. Information about where you've grown. Information about what matters to you. Information about the depth of your capacity to care. Strong people are not those who feel less pain. They are those who stop pretending it doesn't exist. Growth requires honesty, not toughness. And honesty sometimes arrives through tears. This is not a breakdown. It is a breakthrough occurring quietly beneath the surface where no one else can see it yet. If you're hurting right now, it does not mean you are failing. It means you are becoming. Pause here if you need to. If this stirred something, that's okay. You don't need to rush to the next section. There is a particular kind of pain that comes from continuing forward while feeling unseen. It is not the pain of failure. It is the pain of responsibility carried quietly. The pain of showing up every day while parts of you are still hurting. This is the pain most people never speak about because from the outside, it looks like strength. You're functioning, you're building, you're providing. But inside, something feels heavy, not broken, just tired. Tired of holding everything together. Tired of being the strong one. Tired of carrying weight that no one else fully understands. This kind of pain doesn't come from weakness. It comes from endurance. Endurance without release hardens the heart, and a hardened heart cannot grow. This is why moments like this matter. Moments where you allow yourself to stop pretending, to stop performing resilience, to stop explaining why you're still standing. Pain needs witnesses. Even if that witness is only you. When pain is ignored, it isolates. When pain is acknowledged, it connects. Many people feel alone, not because no one is around them, but because no one sees the part of them that's hurting. And eventually, when pain goes unseen for too long, the body finds a way to release it through exhaustion, through tears, through moments where composure finally breaks. These moments are not failures of discipline. They are invitations to compassion. Compassion for yourself, not as a reward, but as a necessity. Growth without compassion becomes self-punishment. And punishment may produce results, but it destroys sustainability. Sustainable growth requires gentleness at the right moments. Strength is not the absence of softness. Strength is knowing when softness is required. Crying does not mean you are losing control. It means control has been held for too long. Tears are not weakness leaving the body. They are pressure releasing from the soul. Pain unexpressed becomes stored. Stored pain distorts perception. It makes the future feel heavier than it is. It makes the present feel lonelier than it needs to be. And it convinces you that rest is failure. Rest is not failure. Rest is integration. Integration is where growth becomes wisdom. Without integration, pain simply repeats itself in different forms. This is why solitude often accompanies growth. Not because you are meant to be alone forever, but because clarity often requires silence. Silence allows pain to speak without interruption. In silence, you hear the truth beneath the noise. The truth about what you've been carrying, the truth about what you've outgrown, the truth about what you no longer need to prove. Many people confuse loneliness with isolation. Isolation is disconnection. Loneliness is transition. It is the space between who you were and who you are becoming. That space feels uncomfortable because it is unfamiliar. But unfamiliar does not mean unsafe. It means growth is underway. And this is why pain often intensifies right before expansion. You are being stretched beyond old capacities. Old identities resist this stretch. Old coping mechanisms begin to fail. And what remains is vulnerability. Vulnerability is not exposure for others. It is honesty with yourself. Honest acknowledgement of fear, honest acknowledgement of grief, honest acknowledgement of exhaustion. Grief is not only for loss of people, it is also for lost versions of yourself. Versions that tried their best with what they knew at the time. Letting them go hurts, even when you are grateful for the lessons they carried. Pain honors effort. It says, something mattered here, and what matters is worth grieving. Too many people rush past this stage. They distract themselves with productivity. They call it discipline. But discipline without emotional honesty becomes avoidance wearing a uniform. Real discipline includes stillness. It includes listening. It includes letting yourself feel without needing to fix anything immediately. Fixing comes later. First comes presence. Presence allows pain to move rather than remain trapped. And when pain moves, it changes form. It becomes clarity. It becomes empathy. It becomes depth. This depth will one day serve others, not because you speak about it, but because you carry yourself differently. People will feel your steadiness without knowing its source. That steadiness is earned here, in moments like this. Moments where you stay with the pain instead of running from it. Moments where you allow yourself to be human without apology. Growth that includes pain produces wisdom. Growth that avoids pain produces repetition. You are not breaking down, you are breaking open. And what opens makes room for something stronger, more compassionate, and more grounded than before. This is the quiet work. No applause, no recognition, just truth meeting courage in the dark. If you are crying as you listen to this, let it happen. Nothing is wrong with you. This is what healing sounds like when it is finally given permission. Pain is not here to stop you. It is here to shape you, to deepen you, to prepare you for a strength that does not need to perform. Stay here a little longer. Breathe. Let the weight soften. You do not have to carry everything exactly the same way anymore. Take a moment here, not to think, not to analyze, just to notice yourself breathing. Notice that you are still here, still standing, still listening. Pain did not remove you from the journey. It revealed how much you have already endured. There is strength in that, even if it doesn't feel like strength right now. You don't need to rush what's unfolding. You don't need to make sense of everything yet. This moment is not asking you to fix your pain. It is only asking you to honor it. What comes next will be shaped by the honesty you allowed yourself here. Stay present, stay gentle. The next part of the journey begins from this quiet place. What comes next does not ask you to forget what you felt. It asks you to carry it differently. Pain has a way of clearing the noise so that truth can finally be heard. From this quiet place, meaning begins to take shape, not as answers all at once, but as direction born from lived experience. The next part of the journey is not about leaving pain behind. It is about allowing it to refine you, to soften what needs compassion, to strengthen what must endure. Stay here for just a moment longer. What emerges next is built on the honesty you allowed yourself here. There is a moment when pain changes its posture. It no longer feels sharp. It no longer feels chaotic. Instead, it becomes heavy with meaning. This is the moment most people never reach, not because it is unreachable, but because it requires staying present longer than comfort allows. Pain initially demands attention, but when attention is given fully, pain begins to ask deeper questions. Questions about how you have been living, about what you have been tolerating, about where you have been strong at the cost of being honest. Meaning does not arrive to erase pain. It arrives to reorganize it, to transform suffering from chaos into something that can be carried without breaking you. This is where strength stops being performative and becomes internal. Performative strength needs an audience. Internal strength needs only alignment. Alignment between what you feel and what you allow yourself to acknowledge. Many people fear this alignment. They worry that if they stop holding themselves together, everything will fall apart. But the opposite is often true. What falls apart was never meant to be held forever. Pain exposes what has been held too tightly for too long. Roles you outgrew, expectations that were never yours, identities formed in survival rather than intention. Letting go of these hurts because they once protected you. And gratitude does not cancel grief. You can be thankful for what got you here and still mourn what it cost you. This duality is where maturity forms. Immaturity demands simple narratives, strength or weakness, success or failure, growth or pain. Maturity understands that growth often arrives wearing pain's clothing, and pain often carries wisdom disguised as discomfort. This wisdom does not shout, it speaks quietly, asking you to slow down long enough to hear it. Slowing down is terrifying for those who learn to survive by staying busy. Stillness removes distraction, and without distraction, the truth has nowhere to hide. The truth about exhaustion, the truth about loneliness, the truth about how much you have carried without asking for relief. Many people reach this point and mistake it for collapse, but collapse implies failure. This is not failure. This is recalibration. the psyche rebalancing after a long period of overextension. Overextension is praised in society. We celebrate those who endure endlessly. We admire those who never stop, but the cost of endless endurance is emotional disconnection. Disconnection from self, disconnection from meaning, disconnection from the quieter reasons you began in the first place. Pain interrupts this pattern, not to punish you, but to reconnect you. Reconnection does not feel triumphant. It feels vulnerable. It feels exposed. It feels like standing without armor for the first time in a long while. Armor kept you functioning, but armor also kept you from feeling. And without feeling, life becomes mechanical. Pain returns sensation. It reminds you that you are alive, not just operational. From this aliveness, meaning begins to emerge, not as motivation to push harder, but as clarity about what matters, what deserves your energy, what deserves your patience, what deserves your devotion. Meaning simplifies. It strips away excess. It makes certain pursuits feel hollow and others feel essential. This simplification can feel like loss. You may grieve ambitions that once defined you, but what replaces them is not emptiness. It is focus. Focus that no longer comes from fear of falling behind, but from a desire to live in alignment. Alignment changes how pain is held. Pain no longer feels pointless. It becomes part of a larger story you are actively shaping. Not a story of suffering, but a story of refinement. Refinement removes what is unnecessary so what remains can endure. Those who have walked through pain with honesty develop a quiet authority. Not dominance, not arrogance, but presence. Their words carry weight because they are not theoretical. They have been tested. Their calm is not indifference. It is integration. Integration of what hurt into something that strengthens rather than weakens. This is why pain, when honored, often precedes leadership. Not leadership of others, but leadership of self. Self-led people move differently. They do not rush. They do not over-explain. They do not chase validation. They know what it costs to arrive at their clarity. And because of that, they protect it. Meaning forged from pain does not demand recognition. It expresses itself through boundaries, through discernment, through choosing depth over noise. This is the turning point, where pain stops being something you survive and becomes something you integrate. Integrated pain becomes compassion. Compassion for yourself. Compassion for others who are still carrying weight in silence. This compassion does not make you fragile. It makes you grounded. Grounded people are difficult to destabilize. They have faced their inner storms and learned they could remain standing. From this place, the future no longer feels threatening. It feels open. Not because certainty has arrived, but because trust has been rebuilt. Trust in yourself. Trust that you can feel deeply and still move forward. Trust that pain does not disqualify you. It qualifies you. It means you have lived. It means you have cared. It means you have risked becoming more rather than staying protected and numb. This is where meaning lives, not at the end of pain, but within it. When you stop fighting its presence and start listening to its guidance. You are not meant to remain here forever, but you were meant to pass through honestly. And because you did, something inside you has changed, quietly, permanently. What comes next will be built on this foundation, not despite the pain, but because of the wisdom it left behind. There is a kind of strength that does not announce itself. It does not need to be proven. It does not require comparison. It simply remains. This strength forms after pain has been felt, understood, and integrated rather than denied. Earlier in life, strength may have meant pushing through, showing up no matter what, carrying everything without complaint. That strength kept you moving. It kept you alive during seasons when survival was the priority. But survival strength is not meant to be permanent. Over time, it hardens. And hardness, left unchecked, disconnects you from meaning. The strength that emerges now is quieter, but deeper. It allows feeling without collapse. It allows stillness without fear. It allows rest without interpreting rest as weakness. Pain has taught you this, not through theory, but through experience. Experience carves truth into places words never reach. You no longer chase relief. You seek coherence. Coherence between your inner world and the life you are building. When coherence replaces urgency, choices become clearer. You begin to notice what drains you and what restores you. You begin to respect your limits, not as constraints, but as boundaries that protect your depth. Depth is where meaning lives. Shallow waters are noisy. Deep waters are still. Pain led you here into deeper water. It asked you to slow down, to feel the weight, to stop skimming the surface of your own life. In that slowing, you learned something essential. You can feel deeply and still remain intact. You can grieve and still move forward. You can acknowledge exhaustion without letting it define you. This knowledge changes how you carry yourself. You no longer harden to protect your heart. You protect it by choosing where your energy goes, by choosing who has access, by choosing silence over explanation when explanation would only drain you. This is maturity, not indifference. Discernment. Discernment is strength with restraint. It allows compassion without self-abandonment. Pain refined this capacity in you. It showed you what happens when boundaries are absent, when responsibility is carried alone. You do not forget these lessons. You integrate them. And integration is what makes growth permanent. Permanent growth does not demand constant effort. It becomes part of who you are. You move differently now. You listen longer. You respond more slowly. You do not rush toward certainty. You allow clarity to arrive in its own time. Time has become an ally rather than a threat. Pain taught you patience, not the passive kind, but the grounded kind. The patience that knows what is real cannot be hurried. This patience extends outward into how you build, into how you lead, into how you relate to others. You meet people where they are without abandoning where you go stand. Where this balance was forged in moments of discomfort, in quiet grief no one witnessed. And because it was forged there, it cannot be taken from you. Strength that survives pain without turning bitter is rare. It carries humility, it carries depth, it carries a calm authority that does not need permission to exist. The future no longer feels like something you must conquer. It feels like something you will meet with presence, with preparation, and with trust in yourself. Trust has returned. Not blind trust in outcomes, but earned trust in your capacity to adapt. You know now that pain does not disqualify you. It qualifies you. It means you have lived. It means you have cared. It means you are willing to feel rather than numb. Carry this forward gently. Let your strength remain quiet. Let your growth remain integrated. Let what you endured become wisdom rather than armor. This is not the end. It is a stable beginning, built on truth, shaped by pain, and held together by a strength that no longer needs to prove itself.